What's going on, guys? I'm So Cheers here bringing you another video, and today we are not talking about Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle or the Dragon Ball Z universe in general. If you guys are new to the channel and checking out this video, typically on my channel we talk about Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, which is the mobile game, as well as typical Dragon Ball Z universe chatter. But today we're not doing that, so we're actually going outside of the Dragon Ball Z universe, and we're talking about another one of my big time loves, which is DC Comics, and specifically in DC Comics, The Flash. I'm a huge fan of The Flash. Love him, have always loved him since day one. I've always had this thing about being able to run fast. I've always wanted to do it. And overall, he's just a great character from a comic relief standpoint and what he stands for. And so, with that, we're going to be talking about the CW show, The Flash, which aired last night with the conclusion of the newest Gorilla Grodd storyline, where it was Season 3, Episode 14, Attack on Central City, I believe was the episode name. And so, we'll just kind of run through that. If you guys haven't seen the episode, turn me off right now. Don't listen to anything else about this. But if you want to listen to my review of the episode, feel free to stick around, and hopefully I can try to keep it entertaining for you guys. So I thought the episode overall was a really strong episode. I thought it was great. There are a lot of times, specifically with like shows like Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash, where they just get drawn out with the love stories and whatnot. And while those are really central to the plot of a lot of what happens in The Flash in terms of the way they've written it, to where a lot of it revolves right now around Iris and Barry and how they're going to save Iris's life towards the end of the season. Like I said, there are times when it gets a little drawn out, and you see those recurring themes. Like in this episode, Barry once again was concerned about whether or not you can change the future without having to change yourself, and killing off Grodd, and he has that internal struggle throughout the episode that we've seen all season, and I'm gonna be honest, it gets a little tiresome in terms of hearing about that all the time and hearing these same dialogue every episode, essentially. Kind of in the same way that the love triangles with Oliver Queen in the Arrow series a couple seasons back got really drawn out and boring. The whole Iris West, Barry Allen, lack of love interest there for the first couple seasons of The Flash was really, really boring, and not so much boring, but just overdone, I guess is the word, and it kind of loses its flair. And so I'm glad that they cut back on that a lot this season. I think the writers have done a really good job at doing that, and so they only give you those really sappy moments in certain spots throughout the season. But what they have done a lot more this season, in my opinion, is give Barry these just awesome, badass moments in the series. And as a fan, I love seeing that. When you get hyped up during an episode, that tells you something's going right with the writers. And so, in this episode specifically, when Grodd and Barry kind of had that face off initially, before Barry gets bodied by Grodd, it's Barry, and he's standing there, and you see the electricity run through his eyes like he does, and you get that slow motion, they're running towards each other, and it's just kind of a really awesome moment where you're just ready. You're ready for the fight of a lifetime. Sadly, we didn't get that fight between Barry and Gorilla Grodd. Instead, they brought the other Salvar, I think is his name, and they brought him back from Earth 2, and Salvar and Grodd went at it. But overall, like I said, I mean, this is going to be a pretty short review and pretty concise. But they go. Grodd ends up coming to this Earth using Gypsy. Gypsy doesn't want to fight with Team Flash. She's really reluctant to do so. Cisco has this idea that she is just super into him, and it's pretty obvious that she is. And so initially she's really, really reluctant. Towards the end of the episode, Cisco is able to convince her to help by going to Earth 19. And we actually got a glimpse of the Universe 19 Flash for just a split second, which was really awesome. That was really cool. And so I think down the line, I think right now the rumor is that we'll get kind of multiple flashes from multiple universes coming to help against Savitar. And so, that was kind of a cool Easter egg. And so they, Gypsy helps Cisco get Salvar back to Earth 1 to fight Grodd. And again, if I'm saying that ape's name wrong, then I apologize. But I think that's what it is. But so they bring him back. They fight it out. Salvar ends up winning, and he regains control of the army, essentially. And so the guerrilla army. And so that's kind of the end of the episode, and it's just kind of showing again that you can attempt to change the future without having to change yourself. You've also got the love interest subplots that I kind of talked about. So you've got Iris and Barry, you've got Jesse Quick and Wally West, which I find their love story or subplot a lot more interesting right now than I do with Barry and Iris. I think that Wally and Jesse just have really, really great on-screen chemistry, even though it does feel super rushed considering that they just got back together and now they're living together. But they have really good chemistry on screen. And then you kind of see that dynamic with Wally being scared of Harry. At one point, Harry kind of made a sudden move, and you saw Wally basically jump a little bit. And so it's just funny to see those moments where Wally's a superhero with super speed, yet Jesse Quick's father still terrifies him, essentially. And so I think in those moments, it's just a really fun show, and I think the writers do a really, really good job at keeping it light and funny. And then we saw a couple Easter eggs for the next episode where it looks like Savitar's back. Maybe not back completely, but kind of messing with Wally's mind a little bit. And so it'll be interesting to see how the season shakes out. Speculation-wise, I think ultimately, what the theme of the season is going to be is Barry and the team are going to keep trying to change history and change events. And we always think of changing history in these like really major kind of fashions where you just, you stop the attack on Gorilla City or the attack on Central City completely. Well, they didn't stop it completely. It still kind of happened. People know about it. Even if, it seems like Central City didn't have the coverage of it, you would have to assume they know that two giant gorillas were fighting in their city. And so I think rather than seeing a major change in history, we're just going to see this kind of like these minor changes in whether or not we're going to have a butterfly effect down the line with Savitar, where we end up seeing that Iris is not killed at the end of the season, which as we all know, isn't going to be the case, and unless they just completely do a twist ending at the end. But all account and purposes are pointing towards Iris being okay at the end of the season. But I think, they're gonna continue to struggle in terms of changing these events and having being successful in doing so. And so I think that's going to be a really interesting theme as the season goes along. I think there are going to be times where they are unable. Right now, we've seen them change the events of everything that's been put on the board to an extent. If I'm not mistaken, at least in a minor detail, Kid Flash captures Plunder. Now we've got the attack on Central City. The guerrilla attack on Central City doesn't look like it really came to fruition. So that it was like a lot more minor damage, and so changing those events, we'll see how it affects down the line. And they may just stop focusing on it a little bit in the upcoming episodes, since Savitar is back. And then on top of that, it looks like Barry is trying to focus more on the present and enjoy his time with Iris as he can. So I think it'll be an interesting season the rest of the way. I feel like I've talked way too much, but that's kind of my review. Overall, I thought it was a great episode. I think the writing for this season has been really, really good for The Flash, and I'll be interested to see what next week and the next few weeks end up looking like. So If you guys enjoyed the episode, let me know down in the comment section below. If you didn't like the episode, let me know down in the comment section below as well. Let me know why you didn't like it. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you guys don't already do it, follow me over on Twitter at I'm So Cheerios. That link will be down in the description. And if I don't see you guys over there, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.